Welcome to the overnight and welcome on in for another episode of From Day One. Without further ado, off to Art Bell Midnight in the Desert again. This is from October 2nd, 2015. I'm married to an alien mind. The final part now, back to the great American Southwest. Here's Art Bell.
Take a walk on the wild side of midnight. From the Kingdom of Nye, this is Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell. Please call the show at 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL-ART.
That's it, all right. The only place we've got any kind of opening at all is the international line. And, no, we don't take video, by the way. The international line, MITD55, on Skype, and that's a free call from anywhere in the world. Let's go to the phones and say, hey there in Florida, you're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Bell?
Hi.
Hey, my name's Ryan. I'm calling from Pensacola. I just had a quick question for you.
Sure.
When you had your Doubleheader show, you had some EVP, like a team who did EVPs on there.
Yes.
I was wondering if you planned on having them back on.
Well, we've already had them back on. And they're going to be on again, I believe, toward Halloween. So if you are a time traveler and you can listen to older shows, you want to go back and listen to the GIS show. We did that some time ago.
Okay, and is that the name of the group?
Yes, it is. The Ghost Investigators Society.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was just a really spooky show, and I was a trucker when I was listening to it. It really helped me pass the miles.
You know, I often wondered, sir, if you were out in the middle of essentially nowhere in a truck and you were hearing these voices like that, how it would affect you. It must have been weird.
Well, I'd probably pull over and get some sleep if I started hearing voices like that.
All right. Well, listen, thank you. We're going to have them back around Halloween, we believe. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. On Skype, I think it's Misty.
Hi, Art.
More than
How are
Misty.
you?
Misty and her husband.
No, just me.
Just you.
Hello.
I could have sworn I heard a man's voice.
Oh, well, no. No, I'm not married and live alone.
Okay, in that case, I would look around very carefully right now and make sure that there's nobody there.
Okay, you're scaring me now.
Go right ahead.
So I wanted to tell someone, or a lot of people, I guess, that would believe a story. I've told this story before, but always to like family members that are non-believers.
Okay.
But when I was 13, I started having memories of an abduction experience
really?
that happened to me and my family. And when I was about 4 or 5, the memories were traumatic and came back over about a 2-week period of time. And when I talked to my parents about the particular situation that I remembered, they validated that these folks were at our house that got abducted with us, and they validated some things, but they didn't remember the spaceship or any of that. And let me tell you this story really quick. I woke up to a bunch of commotion in the house. There was a younger couple that had been, my father was in the military, and this couple's were in the military as well. And they'd been playing cards when I got sent to bed that night. And so I woke up to a bunch of commotion, my dad hollering, just yelling and screaming coming out of the living room. And I come out of the hallway and I look, and my dad looks at me directly in my face, and I could tell that he forgot about me. The front door is open. Everybody's leaving and scrambling, and he's like yelling at me, get out, get in the car. And we go out, and my dad has a Malibu, which he confirmed that for me later because I didn't know that at the time. But we got in the car, and he used to race stock cars also as a side thing that he liked to do.
Right.
So we all jump in the car. The younger couple was in the back seat, and I'm in the back seat with them. And my dad tries to start the car, and it won't go anywhere. And they all know what's going on. And the only thing I really know at that time is that I wanted to take something from my bedroom or from the house with me, even though I didn't have it. I had wanted to, because I wanted to prove that this time that it really happened. So I think that it happened before. But I don't remember it before. I just know at the time I knew it had happened before. And the car wouldn't start, and the guy in the back seat says, let's get in my car, Ray, you drive. And so my father and we all scramble, and they have a little Volkswagen, and we scramble in, and I'm in the back seat again, and I'm sitting in this younger couple's lap pretty much, and Dad tries to start the car, and the car won't start.
Right.
And then everybody but me, just all the yelling and everything just stops. Everybody just turns off. And my dad gets out of the car, and then my mother gets out of the car, and then the couple that I'm on their lap, they're just like leaving me and bouncing me out, off onto the seat as they get out of the car. And I see my mother walking around the car, and I just really wanted to go with her. So I get out of the car and I start to try to follow her, and she's not there. And I look and I see my father's feet lift up off the ground, and he just starts floating into the air. And I look up, and my mother is very close to this huge spaceship that I can't see the sky. It's like above our house.
So you're saying they were in the middle of being abducted?
Yes, and I was still on the ground, and I could see all of them going up into this ship. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was a ship. I mean, it was just little, I didn't understand.
Sure,
I wasn't afraid. I did want to go with my mother, and I was having some anxiety about that.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden I felt these, like long fingers go around my waist from behind and lift me up off the ground. And I turned to try to see, what was behind me. And all I saw was if you could imagine what a astronaut's helmet would look like, only it was like reflecting. That's all I saw was like that mask.
Gotcha.
And it was reflecting. I could see it reflecting.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so what happened?
It touched me with something cold on the back of my neck. And that was it. The next thing I remember, I woke up in my bed, and I was just beating the heck out of my neck trying to wipe this cold thing off.
And your parents were back?
Everybody was there. Yeah, everybody was there, including the couple that were asleep in the living room on the couch, which was like, that wouldn't have never have happened, but they were there. And my parents remembered that they were there the next morning as well.
And nobody remembered any of this experience except you.
They remembered that my dad had some car trouble, and that the couple that was there had car trouble, and they said that's why they spent the night.
Wow. If I were you, I would go and get myself hypnotized, I think, and try and find out if that's the truth. I mean, it's possible that as a youngster you formed some kind of memory that wasn't real. I'm not saying it's a false story. I'm saying that it may or may not be a real memory, but if it were me and I had a memory like that, I'd sure as heck want to know if it was real. So there is that. You might think about it. Sharky, outside the country somewhere. Hello.
Oh, hey, Art.
Hey, where are you?
I'm actually in Canada, Ontario, to be specific.
Oh, you're on the wrong line.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, Sharky, I'm sorry. Gotta go. Try us on the North American line. That's for people outside of North America, which is MITD55. If you're outside of North America, MITD55. If you're married to an alien. Some pretty good ones tonight. If you're married to an alien, then you can call I'm married to an alien line. And that number is area code 575-208-7787. I know I don't give that out enough. I'm sorry. When we have a special line, area code 575-208-7787. Hey, you know what? I also should open the first-time caller line. If you have never called the show, wherever you are, it's area code 775-285-5800. That's for first-time callers. 775-285-5800. Okay, let's go to, how about here? I think we're going to California somewhere. Hi.
Hi, yes, this is John, Apple Valley, California.
Yo.
Hey, so I wanted to share I guess you would say a time-traveling out-of-body experience, kind of going with your show the other night.
Okay.
All right, I was 18 at the time, living, probably 18 or 20, and living at home, and now let me preface by saying out-of-body experiences aren't something that fits my religious beliefs. It's not something I would want. So I went to sleep this particular night, and when I woke up, I realized that it was daylight, and my bedroom was reverting back to when I was a little boy, and I could feel myself reverting back to a child.
Really?
And before I knew it, I was 9 again, sitting on the floor playing with my toys, and I could hear my mother calling me.
Wow.
And I realized at this moment that I was out of my body, and it freaked me out.
And you realized that you were back in time?
That's what it felt. It felt as though I was back in time to when I was 9 years old.
Were you physically identical?
I don't know. It felt as though like I regressed into myself back then.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
And then, so I realized I was having this experience, and it frightened me, and I willed myself back into my body, and it took a lot of effort, and finally, like with a slam, boom, I was in my body, and I had been underwater for 5 minutes. I came up, gasping for air, and my heart was racing.
Right.
And so it took me a while to go back to sleep, as you can imagine.
I can.
And I had this exact same experience happen 3 times in a row that same night.
Wow. And never since?
No, never since. So that night I remembered the movie, that Christopher Reeve movie, Somewhere in Time.
Ah, yes.
So I turned on the radio to tether myself to the here and now. And it worked, and I went to sleep and didn't have any other experiences.
I thought you were going to say you got my show and totally lost it.
No.
All right, well, that's an amazing story, and maybe, who knows, maybe 3 times in one night, maybe you were back. I think it happens.
It sure felt real.
Well, what do we know about time, right? We think it's linear and just progresses, and you can never move within or beyond the present march of time, but maybe you can. Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you.
Good one. On our first-time caller line, you are on the air. Hello.
Hi. Good evening. Good morning.
Yes, whatever.
Yes. Thanks for taking my call. The reason I'm calling, I'm a long-time listener of you, and I appreciate your radio shows. The reason I'm calling is because when I was a very little girl, into my teens and even as an adult, I've had night terrors. Night terrors that my siblings I'd wake up and they were in my room. What are you doing? And they said I'd be screaming and throwing stuff, and I wouldn't remember anything.
Oh, night terrors are terrible.
They are. They're horrible. My husband sleeps with one eye open, believe me. I'm still not used to them. Anyhow, one in particular, I hadn't been 7 or 8 years old, second grade, and something was in my bed with me. The only way I can explain it is it was slimy and had a form. It was at the end of my bed where my feet would go, and every time my feet would touch it, I would start hollering. And finally, my dad came, and he took whatever was inside my bed and threw it away in my trash can. And to this day, I have no idea what it was.
Okay, so this was not part of a night terror. This was the real McCoy.
Yes. Oh, Oh yeah, I remember everything. My dad said he just kind of winks at me. He's like, "Oh, Sylvia, it was just a nightmare." And I'm like, "No, it really happened. You were there." He doesn't seem to remember it, but it was some sort of grayish, jellyish type matter. To this day, I have no idea what it was.
Not something you want to feel with your feet, do you?
No, it was pretty disgusting.
Well, listen, what took you so long to call?
Well, I get scared calling radio shows. People, really, I don't know. I don't know.
Nah, we're easy. We're really easy.
So I'm a big fan of you. I really am. I'm a huge fan of you.
Well, thank you. And thanks for the first time call, really.
All right. Have a good evening.
You take care. Going straight to the alien. I'm married to an alien line. You're on the air.
Hey, Art. How you doing?
I'm okay.
This is Mark from Van Nuys, and I'm really scared calling in because I just found this out recently, and I'm afraid to actually ask her about it,
Well, I understand the trepidation. Let's try this so we're sure. What has led you to believe that she, is one of them?
Well, I would have a lot of dreams, like UFO related dreams and whatnot, but I could never put my finger on it.
Yeah, but that's you. That's you, not her.
Well, I'll tell you what happened recently. Recently, I get up the night to use the bathroom, and I look over, and she's shape-shifting on me while she's in bed.
Oh, that's a big tip right there.
Yeah.
And what was she shape-shifting into, if I can ask?
Well, she'd be in a regular form, and like a reptilian type skin. And it's happened like 3 times now. And
that's a real mood crusher. I mean, when you look over, have you had the guts yet to even talk to her about it?
No, that's what I was just saying. I'm really afraid.
I would be very careful about bringing this up.
Well, honey, no, I'm talking to Ron.
Oh, God. You heard that, I take it. Well, I picture reptilian-created pieces of whoever we were just talking to all over the room right now. First-time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, this is Connor in Oklahoma.
What do you think? I don't know. Maybe you weren't listening, Connor. What do you think happened to that last caller?
Oh, that's easy, Artie. He was got. I mean, she got him.
Gutted him.
Oh yeah.
Eviscerated him.
Yeah, he's a goner, that's for sure.
All right. Well, I want these people who are calling this line to be really, really careful because of what you just heard. All right. Anyway, what's up?
Scary stuff. Well, Art, I was gonna call about some stuff that happened to me. I believe as a small child, I had a series of encounters with, I guess, what most people would consider a demon.
Really? A demon?
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is the first time you've ever called this program?
It is.
It is. What kind of demon?
Well, I guess I should have just kind of started. I mean, I must have been I have very distinct memories of being a young child, maybe 4, and when my parents put me down to go to bed,
right,
they would leave the room.
Sure.
And then after a couple minutes or so, I would hear a voice start talking to me, usually from behind my bed or from another part of the room. And it's hard to remember distinct things that it would say, but it was very demented and kind of, I don't know, it liked making me upset.
Probably not hard to do with a 4-year-old. I'm sure you were totally freaking out.
Oh, yeah, totally. And so, and excuse me, I'm a little nervous.
All right. Take a deep breath. Try to remember.
So, yeah, I have these distinct memories of they would put me to bed, I'd hear this voice, I'd cry, it'd go away, they'd come back in the room, they'd check things out, they'd leave, because there wouldn't be anything there, and they wouldn't hear anything. And then, a couple minutes later, it'd start talking to me again. And the only thing that I remember, the only sentence I really distinctly remember is one time it asked me if I wanted to die.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And how does a 4-year-old answer that question?
Exactly. I think I can't remember what I said to that.
Well, if your parents had you trained as a polite youngster, you would have said, no, thank you.
Right. You know, I'm not sure. I would have been pretty freaked out, but no, otherwise, I did. It's hard to tell if these were, if I was, yeah, I would hear it, and I have waking memories of that have never gone away from me. I just never forgot them.
And you never will forget them. Thank you. It's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. All right. So all the lines are filling, and full. Let me go to Skype and say hi, Tom.
Hello, Art.
Hi.
Roswell,
Thank you.
long-time listener.
Thank you.
Having a panic attack.
Right now?
Oh, gee, the anxiety in the gut of just getting on the air is just incredible.
Well, you'll get over it.
I'm trying to breathe deep.
Yeah, deep breath.
But those questions that you have, those ones that sort of burn into your soul?
Yes.
I've got a bunch of those too, just like yours.
Sure.
That after-death stuff. What happens to people when they die?
It's the biggest question for all of mankind. There's no question about it. And I try to do shows that attempt to answer that question. It's not answered yet for me, not absolutely. There are some people, I really envy them who have faith. They have such absolute faith that, there will be paradise or heaven or whatever waiting for them. And I envy that.
I have had a number of experiences actually talking to the dead. They
then you know more. You know more than I do.
In my imagination.
Yeah, you know more than I do. If you talk to the dead, you're ahead of me.
And it's really pretty easy. I'm like 73. I'm about your age, and I have outlived just all but a very small handful of my friends.
I'm 70, so you're 3 years older.
Right. Yeah, let's not stretch it.
Yes. I'll be there soon enough. Or not.
So back in '99, I'm standing in front of the library waiting for it to open, and my mother pops in, sort of in your mind's eye, in your imagination, and starts talking to me. Well, I thought, I'm just imagining this. And she's saying, I just left the body, and they won't let me pass over because I've got too many unresolved conflicts.
Really?
So she stayed with me like that for about 6 years. And
wow.
I just kind of, discounted it as imagination. But 5 days later, after I had the first vision, I get a postcard in the mail from my brother who was, misplaced my phone number and couldn't call me when she died. Right. So he sends me a postcard and telling me that the time that she passed. And sure enough, it was exactly the time I was standing in front of the library.
Wow.
And she was really good at conflict. Oh man, she was had that destructive streak. She'd go after people that she thought were doing wrong things, and she just created so much conflict for herself. So that was her sin. She was like begging forgiveness. I said, Ma, don't beg forgiveness from me. I know you did the best you could.
And I take it she finally did, after 6 years, pass on?
Well, she kind of faded away. She just gradually faded away. And I don't see her anymore. That was back in '99, so I don't see her anymore.
Pretty amazing story.
I
Anyway.
have had a number of people appear in my imagination just like that. I used to rent rooms, being here in Honolulu, you can hardly afford an apartment alone. So, you rent out the bedrooms to whoever will rent them. At the early 80s, I was renting to college students.
Yes.
And this one lad stayed the usual year like they do. And I kept seeing him in my imagination standing right there at the corner of the hallway, kind of on the other side of my computer desk, looking at me. This occurred so many times. Finally, I just talked to him and I said, Johnny, are you out of the body? And he said, yeah. Yeah, I died of AIDS in '87.
Oh my God.
And I said to him, well, what are you doing here looking at me? Aren't you supposed to go somewhere? And he said, well, I don't know. I always thought about you because you're the only man that ever loved me. You washed my clothes for nothing. You cooked for me for nothing while I was going to school. You treated me better than anybody else I ever knew. You treated me better than my father. And that's kind of like I just feel like I'm attracted to you. And when I'm with you, your heart energy seems to dispel the negative stuff that's on this side that's trying to get after me.
Yeah, I think most of the negative stuff is on this side. Thank you very much for the call. At least I certainly hope it's that way, don't you? That the negative stuff is on this side, and it's not so negative over there. Not a lot of time. First time caller line. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art Bell.
Yes, sir.
This is Steve from Syracuse. I love listening. You know what I thought? I haven't written it, but I was going to write Art Bell, Mr. Freedom of Speech Incarnate.
I hope so.
You would have no screeners, and I'm so happy to have you on the line. I got good news.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the good news is I have a calling very much like St. Thomas Aquinas had or like Jesus had, where you're trying to care about the whole world and make it better. I could go into detail. I was born, I was born on 6 days after D-Day. I'm right, another Gemini, but I'm a Gemini monkey. And you are living up to what I call 33 birth pass, because you're the best listener in the world, except for a psychologist second opinion I have. But the good news is, I love your sense of humor and your care for people, and you're such. Okay, let me talk. I'm an autistic.
I see. Okay.
I was born. I was a twin. Born 6 days after D-Day. I think that's important. I think the whole world was praying like mad for that D-Day invasion. And I was born 6 days after D-Day. And what I wanted to be when I was about 2.5, 3 years old, my mother was reading the Pied Piper of Hamelin. You know that story?
I do. I do.
Well, I identified with him. I was all excited, and then her response was, "He's evil." Well, boy, did that pop my balloons. I was guilt-ridden and self-doubting.
You're not evil.
Until I was 12.
Okay, well, listen, you're not evil. I understand you are autistic, and you're definitely not evil. So I've got...
Pathetic autistic savant.
Right.
Pathetic autistic savant. Remember that.
Well, savant means genius in one category.
I know it. That's what I think about.
All right, listen, I've got a break.
Understanding the problems of the world to make it better.
Okay, I hope you do, but I gotta go. Sorry, we've got a break, and I have to abide by these times. This is Midnight in the Desert.
Again, we'll return once they return from break.
Of what the studio looks like. We're in a 7-minute break, right? and the North American screen is going berserk with Skype. I mean, there are calls behind calls behind calls, and the international's going, first-time callers going, the I'm married to an alien line is going, and right now overseas is where we're going. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing, Art?
I'm doing okay. Where are you?
I didn't know this was overseas. I'm actually in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Ryan. You're on the wrong line. Thank you, and have a good night. Sorry, those are the rules. And actually, I passed up other overseas callers because I had Ryan holding. So to whoever was trying to get in, give it another try, those folks, and I'll get you on. You know, as we're making rules, once again, in the Skype world, to get hold of this show, MITD51 for North America and MITD55 for the rest of the world. Those rules are really important. Let us go to Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I've been listening to you for so long.
Really?
I'm calling in because I have a story about getting kicked out of the astral plane.
Really? Were you out of body at the time?
Yes, I was. When I was in high school, my last 2 years of high school, I really started getting into doing like astral projection.
I mean, I can understand getting kicked out of high school. I can understand getting kicked out of a lot of things, but the astral plane, my goodness, what did you do?
Well, I went to this place and I always just called it the cathedral because it was a cathedral.
Right.
And I went in and I found this office at one point, and there was a big, like, black window behind this desk.
Yes.
And if you sat in the chair and you turned around, you could see stuff, like stuff that you would have no idea knowing.
In other words, you're saying like you were in a
aspect.
different place?
I'm sorry?
It's like you were in a different place?
It's like you were, it's almost like a scrying kind of glass or something.
Yes.
Because you could ask to see something and you'd see it.
Okay, got it.
And then you could verify it once you were back in your body.
All right, so pray tell, what did you do to get booted from the plane?
I'm not really sure, but I went into that office at one point, and there was a man in like a charcoal gray suit with just brilliant blue eyes and white hair, and he turned around and said, "You're not allowed to be here anymore." And he like snapped his fingers, and I haven't been able to get back.
Well, I guess that's kind of sad. I guess you feel like you did something wrong, but I'm sure you did not. Maybe you just had a real
really
grouch.
Surprising, I guess, because I had been there so many times, and it was just, I don't know, it was unexpected.
And so you've never been able to get back?
Correct.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you very much for the story. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you imagine being able to get away to the astral plane, virtually at will, as she described, and then, I don't know, suddenly not being able to? Bummer. Outside the country somewhere, Peter.
G'day, Art. Peter in Bendigo.
Yes, sir.
This is a story, an experience I had about 17 years ago. I was at my ex's place.
Yes.
And I was trying to get to sleep. It was a very hot night. I had a fan at the end of the bed, and it was making this usual noise that they do. And but I could hear a whispering noise also, and I was really annoyed because I was trying to sleep. I had to get to work early the next day. And I could hear this whispering noise, and I intently listened to it more and more. And then I could understand it was actually something speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard something say, "Peter, get up," or get out," or something like that. And I think it was "get up." And so I went out to the hallway. I was really frightened at that point. I thought it was some sort of warning. And so I went out to the hallway to check on the kids. And I looked in one of the rooms, and I saw that my stepdaughter seemed to be sleeping okay. So she was okay. So I went and checked on my son. He was fine. So then I checked the house, and I checked the doors to make sure everything was closed.
Sure.
And I still felt a sense of danger, so I went back to my stepdaughter's room and just checked on her a bit further to see if she really was okay. And I noticed that she wasn't actually sleeping on her back. She was on her chest was slipping between the wall and the bed, and she was slipping down between the wall and the bed.
Oh, God.
And
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know what's happening tonight.
She was basically suffocating.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, so I pulled her out and put her back on the bed, and she sat up in bed, and she had one eye open and the other one was closed, and she sort of went into some sort of fit and breathed very rapidly, and I asked her if she was okay, and she nodded and said she was okay, and she seemed to roll over go back to sleep. I pulled the bed out away from the wall so it couldn't happen again.
All right, you saved your life. There's no question about it. And isn't it amazing, this sense of dread, this sense of danger that you felt that wouldn't go away until you got to it?
Yeah, and it wouldn't let me sleep.
Right.
I couldn't sleep before that. And when I went back to bed,
I know.
I was able to sleep. But when I woke up the next day, I told my ex about it, and she said she just stared at the ceiling for hours after that and couldn't get back to sleep herself.
Boy.
Because it frightened her so much.
That's a precognitive warning, and they're absolutely real. Thank you so much for that call. You saved a life. He saved a life, and I believe every single word of it. I've had precognitive experiences, one, and I know what it's like. It's not something you can ignore. It's like something that washes over you again and again and again and again, and it will nag at you and won't let you do anything else until you take care of it. It's amazing. Let's go to the first-time caller line. You're on the air. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Eric from Ohio.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, and I am a first-time caller.
All right.
Listening to you for a long time. Retired railroader, and you used to be the companion in the middle of the night going to and from work.
Right.
Really? Hey, the other night you had a gentleman on that was talking about the MIBs, or the Men in Black.
That's correct, yes.
And he made reference several times to John Keel writing about him.
That's right.
And I always loved his books. So, simple question. Did you ever have the opportunity to interview John Keel?
I did not.
Okay. He seemed to have this thing with, well, he also talked about shadow people a lot too, and tulpas and all that. I was going to call you in, try to call you then, but the fellow stole my thunder, and he explained it all. So
well, it was quite a show, and shadow people is quite a topic. And I used to sort of, I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of blew it off in my mind when I began hearing from callers about shadow people. And then suddenly it happened to me. And there's nothing like that to turn you around and make you realize, hey, guy, this is real.
Well, I'm a night owl, and I'll sit at my workbench, and sometimes I'll see stuff out of the corner of my eye, and I figure, well, 99% of them are just something that I can't explain, but who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, when you least expect it, here comes that 1%.
Yes. Well,
thank you. I'm going to have to go because you've got your...
Okay, thank you.
Right, take care. He turned his radio off. I guess he thought I ended the call or something. But no, indeed. Let's go to Richard, somewhere outside the country. Hello.
Hello, it's Richard from Northern Ireland.
From where?
Listen, Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland. Okay, yes. Yes.
Art, here's the thing. I'm married to a female from Texas, and I think she might be an alien.
You're what? Talking to her on Skype?
No, I'm married to her.
You're married to her, and you think she's alien?
Yeah, she's got her own language, Art. She has her own language, and she has, really, and not only that, Art, my stepkids and my grandchildren are infected as well. They say the same things.
Are you sure it's not American English that you're objecting to? It's really a foreign language?
Oh, I never thought of that. I mean, she says aluminum instead of aluminium.
Richard, you're so out of here. See you later. Yeah, see ya. Let's talk to Michelle, also out of the country. Hello.
Hi. This is Michelle in Japan.
Hi, Michelle.
I wanted to tell you, first of all, do you have any plans to do a Antichrist line again sometime soon? Because I used to love when you would do those.
You really like the Antichrist line?
I loved those. They were always so ridiculous, and then you'd always scare the crap out of me every time you'd pull out that Satan voice. because I was never be prepared for it.
Okay, Michelle. Yes, I will do an Antichrist line again.
Okay. Well, I have a quick story for you.
Okay.
I have no idea what this is, but I moved recently, and for the past 3 months or so, I've seen maybe 3 times. I look out my window or out on the balcony over at Mount Fuji, and I see what looks like a flare or a firework or something.
Oh.
But it's hovering over the base of Mount Fuji, not near the top. But
You know,
at the
Michelle,
base.
I've been hearing this about Fuji in Japan. I really have. I've heard other reports. Have you talked to others?
No, I haven't. I can't figure out what in the world it is. It looks like I said, like a firework or something. But it'll hover for about a minute or so, and then it'll fade away, and then sometimes another one will kind of just appear. It'll come up slowly, and then it'll hover, and then after a minute or two, it's gone.
Weird.
It makes no sense. It doesn't move around like a UFO story. It doesn't disappear like a flare or a firework would.
Huh. How about some pictures?
Yeah, I tried that, but the problem is that Mount Fuji is just far enough away that you can't see him really hardly in the pictures. It just shows up as a little tiny dot.
Okay, well,
you can
what
see
you
it
would
great
need,
with your eyes.
right? What you would need would be a camera with a really good zoom lens.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I have an iPhone, and that's about it for camera for me.
Gotcha. Well, iPhone doesn't do the trick. They're
not
good
for this.
cameras, but for anything at a distance, no way.
But I am surprised you said you've heard this before.
I have.
I kind of want to know more about that because
Okay.
I've been wondering what the heck it could be. And
Let me
I've
see
not
what
heard
I can
anything
find
else.
out. Let me see what I can find out, Michelle. But yes, there have been other sightings around Fuji. There's some stories on it, and I'll try and dig them out for you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and have a good night. Going to Skype over here. Brave Hooves, really? That's your name?
Yeah, actually, no, it's Alexander.
I like Brave Hooves.
Anyways. Yeah, it's my YouTube name. Anyways.
Okay.
I got a story for you. I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm the one who does your show at KXL.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Welcome.
Yeah, and I was like, I need to call in. Anyways, I have a story. I went to this with my dad. He does ghost hunting and stuff. We went to go to this insane asylum. It's called Damish Insane Asylum.
Right.
There was this old church, and we went inside of the elevator. When we stepped in there, it was almost like there was something wrong with time. Like we had this really dark feeling in our chest. The people that were with us were one of my really good friends, Shay, and his dad.
Yes.
We all stepped inside of this elevator, and the 10 people that were around us, like the girls screaming, ghosts, they all vanished. Like, it's like somebody pulled a headphone jack right out of your
You're kidding.
sound. Yeah, and I said, where did they go?
Yes.
And I say, I need to get out of this elevator. We walk out of the elevator. I get a call from my phone, and the guy says, we've been gone for 4 hours, and the cops were over there waiting for us.
Wow. So everybody had a little experience with time, and what a strange one, too.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I still can't explain it.
Wow. All right, well, listen, thanks for taking care of us up there at KXL.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good night.
You too. Boy, that's strange. There's something about time. Every now and then there's a slip. Every now and then somebody, the kind of story you just heard, something like that happens. Or, like an earlier caller, every now and then he slips into a state he was much younger. And then back again. 3 times in one night, right? Time slips. Burlington, something or another, on the first-time caller line, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
It's Sharon calling from Ontario.
Welcome.
And I have a story to tell you.
Okay.
Something that might help you with your thoughts about the afterlife.
Okay.
When I was 12 years old, my father died. And I felt really, really sort of afraid to go and see him in his coffin. I wanted to remember him.
I understand.
As he was
sure.
alive, right?
Sure.
So my grandfather, we were at my grandparents' house, his father's house, and my grandfather asked me when I was going to see him, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to go and see him." And he said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, I just rather remember him the way he was when he was alive." And my grandfather assumed right away I was afraid. So he said, "Listen, the dead can't hurt you.
Right.
When they die, they're like a dog. It's the end of them." And he was sort of an atheistic person. My grandmother was very religious Catholic, but he was atheist. Anyway, he was Russian as well. And he, after that, I kept hearing my father's voice call me in my ear, in my left ear.
Really?
And you know when your parent calls you and you want your attention?
Yes.
It was a certain way they would call you.
Yes, you would know. You better pay attention or else trouble comes.
That's right. And my father was always very stickler about calling me in for supper and stuff. So it was like that call. And I would lay down, and as I would be falling off to sleep, I would hear him call me in my left ear. And I was 12 at the time. And the following year, in September, I was going to high school. And
I'm sorry to do this to you, but the show is over. You can probably hear the music in the background. I have to go. I am so sorry.
That's okay. I'll call you again, Art, and I'll tell you the rest of the story.
Please do. You're hereby authorized to use the first-time caller line again for that exact reason, because I have to cut you off. Well, listen, everybody. It has been a good one. I hope everybody lived through it. For now, I'm not going to say goodnight, America. I'm going to say goodnight because obviously we have cultivated people around the world who listen to this program in droves. Good night from the high desert.
Thank you, Art. And have a great night. Alright. Had to make sure we didn't get copyrighted there. So singing over it, hopefully that should happen. Alright, we're going to finish the fights off here real quick. And then we will bring this bad boy in for a landing. Need to get one more fight before I could use the cards to finish this off. So there's that fight. As always, let me start the spiel ahead of time as we finish these off. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Get us to those goals of both 5,000 viewers for next year's and 1,000 subscribers for YouTube, so they start paying attention to us. Send us items and we can send them to you, the watchers of the program. CoinBase and Ibotta are below. Get both of them for $10 each. Hooray when you do sign up. And Coinbase, of course, you get your 2-minute lessons, 1-minute questions through Coinbase Learn to get yourself up to $1,000 in free crypto. And Ibotta, you get rewarded for basically what you're already doing. Basically shopping for your groceries, anything else you might need. Get money back for what you already gotta do. Until we do meet tomorrow, as always, please make sure you do like, share, subscribe. May every fight you do in Dominion rock and roll and be awesome for you. And as always, please make sure you come back and enjoy more as we continue to rock on through the night and days here on From Day One. Have a great night, everybody.